What do you think is more important, taste or life?
Life.
Okay, so do you think maybe you should go vegan?
Yes.
Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Natalie, and today we're in the beautiful French Quarter talking to people about veganism in exchange for free beer.
I drink 3 gallons of milk a week because it's the most, to me, and I know a lot of people are lactose intolerant. However, to me, it's the best way to bulk, and I've been bulking for 2 or 3 years now. 3 gallons of milk.
You're looking good.
Thank you so much. However, I understand that animal cruelty is a thing. However, should we not start with world hunger first?
It's really interesting you bring up world hunger because there are 77 billion land animals that we feed every year. If we used just the food that we feed to livestock in the US, it would end world hunger.
Okay.
You said you wanted to talk about veganism and that you had questions. So
Yeah.
what questions do you have?
Well, so I understand kind of the benefits economically for the amount of production it costs to feed and grow cows and pigs and all the meat that we have. But at the same time, it's I work in a restaurant. So I know that a lot of people are saying what we can do at home is to try and go green and eliminate waste and try and do our part for the environment with veganism. But I'm worried because it feels like no matter how much I do at home, all the stuff that I do means nothing compared to the intense amounts of meat that's being consumed by big industries. Because it's even though I personally try to make more conscious health decisions, it's at work when I'm cutting up, I don't know how many pounds of bacon, I'm that's a whole pig right there, and that was just our morning prep. And I'm so I'm not sure exactly what can I do that will actually make a difference.
Do you think that one person can make a difference or not?
I mean, it really depends on the scale. I think a person can inspire others to make a difference, but me alone, it feels kind of like I can't do anything.
Yeah, totally. So what if we lived in a society now where everyone had thought that they couldn't do anything? What do you think the world would be like?
Right, it would be way less changed, yeah.
Do you have any pets?
I do not, unfortunately. No. I do.
You do? What kind?
Dog.
What if I ate your dog? Would you get mad?
Of course.
Would you ever eat your own dog?
No.
Do you think there's any moral difference between a dog and a pig?
No. I think it depends. If you're, this is tough because if you're eating someone's pet, maybe there is a more moral significance to it than some animal that's been mass produced, and the mass production part is ethically wrong, but just on a
moral
level,
who knows who has an emotional connection to this animal?
I don't know.
That's the moral.
It's hard, but I don't want to say that it's the same thing because I don't think it actually is in practice.
And what about tofu?
So I love tofu. I have never. I've tried it 3 times. It's not my favorite. I do admit.
You just said you love it.
No, oh wait, did I? a little bit intoxicated.
You said there was kind of a difference between a dog because it's someone's pet. Do you think that animals only have value in what they give to humans, or do they have value just on their own?
That's hard.
Well, I feel if you're talking about 2 different humans, you could ascribe to 2 different values to different humans based off of how many human connections each one of them has. So if one human has more value to other humans.
So say I have no friends and you have a lot of friends, could you kill me?
Well, I think killing is
To eat me, not just to kill me, but also to eat me. I thought I heard you say that you used to be a vegetarian, is that right?
Yeah, I challenged myself to do it for a year and I did it.
How'd you like it?
It was good. It wasn't anything that bad. I didn't feel like it was even that big of an inconvenience.
Yeah, totally. So a lot of people think being vegan or vegetarian is super hard, but I've personally found it to not really be hard at all. But I'm curious, you said a personal challenge. Was there any ethical reason beside what you did?
I always want to save animals. Mostly I was just doing it because I was just going to try to challenge myself, see how long I could do it for. But it's always good to save animals as well in the process.
So would you say you're an animal lover?
Of course, yes.
Do you love all animals or just some of them?
All animals.
All animals. Do you think it's strange that we pay for animals to be harmed if we love them?
Yes.
Okay.
As of right now, veganism is not cheap. I am part of an upper middle class family, and I still am not able to afford a lot of things, especially whenever it comes to veganism. If I'm hungry, a vegan option that's first off hard to find. I'd have to drive. I'd have to drive far for it, and secondly, to figure out what protein, especially. And I know there are bulking options for veganism, but if you're bulking, if you're trying to stay healthy, all that stuff, it's very, very hard.
So yeah, you mentioned that veganism is more expensive, and you're right that is something that people think about veganism. They vastly overestimate the cost of it. But when you actually go to the grocery store, the cheapest foods are the beans, the rice, the veggies, which all have a lot of protein. When you think it's expensive, you're probably thinking about the vegan meat substitutes, which yes, can get pricey, but you don't need those things in your diet. I personally do like them. The cost is also going down every day. The more you buy them, the cheaper they get. Yeah, so the best sources of protein, lentils are great. Tofu, do you like tofu?
I love tofu if it's cooked right.
You got to cook it right. You got an air fryer?
I don't, but I spend the time. I'll cook it. I'll saute it.
Yeah. So, do you need recipes or help or what?
Motivation. Motivation. I feel like he likes a lot of meat, and I like to cook for him. He's a big guy.
Do you want to hop in here? Yeah. So,
I've actually tried recently to go a little bit vegan vegetarian, but I do like to cook more meat.
Would you ever consider going vegan?
I definitely would consider it. I definitely like the sustainability benefits of going vegan. I think it's definitely something that people should try to do, at least scale back their meat consumption. For me, so much of my diet, what I'm used to, is meat-based.
I think that's true for everyone. I mean, personally, before I went vegan, I pretty much only ate chicken, So when people say oh, there's no variety in a vegan diet, I'm like, well, are you just eating chicken? Because there's not that much variety there.
Yeah, potatoes and chicken. That's literally so many different things. If you go to Georgia, where we're at, every restaurant's a chicken restaurant. Yeah. Poultry plants everywhere. And I'm like, well, that's not diverse at all. It's what, you like Chick-fil-A over Zaxby's? Okay.
I don't know. I feel a lot of the discourse around veganism is very American centric, but I feel in a lot of cultures your meat is a very essential part of the cuisine. It's an essential part of how people get their nutrients. And sure, if you could immediately replace that in the method that you were talking about, fully support it. But realistically, I think it's really hard to get, different cultures on a vegan diet and to just renounce their entire cuisine based on that.
Do you think that culture is a good way to measure morality? For example, in China, it's cultural to eat dogs. Do you think that that's right?
Absolutely. I absolutely think it's right. I think it's judgmental of Western people to judge that it's not right because it's an arbitrary moral value you've put on.
I agree. I'm going to put this in a human context. If culture defines morals, do you think in a culture where it's acceptable for men to rape their wives, because it's cultural, does that make it morally acceptable?
So I think you're asking the question of absolute versus relative ethics or ethics, and I think there's a balance. I don't think we should be it's culture is all relative, morals are all relative. I don't think we should be it's all absolute. I think we are at a place in human society where we can say some things are absolute, let's not rape or let's not kill, but we can also respect some differences in culture.
Would you guys say that you like animals, or do you hate animals?
Love animals.
Love animals, don't like plants as much, which is why I'll eat as many of them as possible, yeah.
Eat as many plants as possible? Fuck plants. All right, that's great, because people always try to tell me that plants feel pain, and I just say they don't. So I'm glad I don't have to have that conversation with you. So do you think that it's possible to love an animal and also pay for it to be violently slaughtered and chopped into pieces?
No.
Definitely not, no. Every creature deserves, I think, the same chances that we have as living beings, for sure.
So what makes you not want to go vegan then?
I live with my family still, and so I just eat the meals that they cook. If it's already cooked, obviously I'm going to eat it.
Sure. Do you think that if your family wanted to serve you dog meat, would you protest?
Yes.
Why is that? It's already cooked.
Yeah, I would never eat a dog.
Is there a moral difference between a dog and, say, a pig or a cow?
I could see why people would say yes. In my head, I feel like it's the same thing, but I get why people would say yes.
I personally don't think there's a moral difference, because if I had a dog here and I had a pig here and I said, which one can I shoot in the head?
Either one.
Okay.
I love both of them equally.
Or what about the people who don't care?
I mean, I can't make someone care about other people or other things.
I got you. No, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like, for a majority of people who don't even, like, want to think about it, they're just like, oh, why do I care? That's animals. That's not.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for me, I was actually in that camp. I knew animals were dying and I didn't necessarily care. But then when the pandemic happened, I found out that 75% of pandemics come from eating animals. So it's not just killing animals, it's killing humans. And I was like, well, I do care about humans, so I may as well go vegan.
All right. Well, that's a good reason.
So I want to kind of go back to that point about different cultures relying on animal products to feed their people. And once again, I think that comes back to necessity. So if they have to do it to survive, that's fine. So my question to you would be, do you have to eat animal products to survive?
Nope.
No.
No.
What do you think is more important, taste or life?
Life.
Okay, so do you think maybe you should go vegan?
Yes.
Veganism is easier than a juggling act.
It's way easier. Yeah, I can promise you being vegan's easier than juggling.
Yeah.
Veganism, is it hard? Like,
No, it's funny you asked. Like, I thought it was going to be so hard. I put it off for so long. I was like, oh my God, I can't go vegan because, like, I can't even get myself to do, like, basic things like my laundry. Like, how am I going to go vegan? But once you kind of think about the animals and you think about what they're going through and you make the connection that this is not a burger, this is a cow that wanted to live, it makes it so easy. And then I was super surprised because there's so many resources, there's videos, there's recipes, there's guides on what to buy in the grocery store. Basically, vegan is the choice of being in a supermarket and you see the milk on the left and you see the soy milk and the oat milk and the almond milk. You just move your hand to the right and you do that for everything you buy. That's all it is. It's so easy. That's why I'm out here advocating it. I wouldn't be saying go vegan if I thought it was like too hard for most people. But look, you're a great dude, you work out, you bulk, you care about animals. I think you can do it.
okay, what about cheese? There's vegan cheese?
There's tons of vegan cheese. Violife is my favorite. It's great. I also make my own easy vegan cheese sauce. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's delicious.
Okay. All right. I might actually be considering that then because
Hell yeah, man. High five.
Honestly, like, I feel like this is kind of like something that I've been thinking about literally recently. So I'm glad that I came to talk to you.
That's amazing, man.
I really did have questions, and it feels nice to know that other people out there are like even though I feel like compared to like where I live and the people around me that I'm not making a difference, like if other people exist that are making a difference.
You are making a difference.
Together,
Yeah.
we are.
Especially if you get out there, get active, and I mean, they say that every vegan saves 200 animals per year. I mean, if that's 7,500 animals in your life. So imagine if you looked out in a field and you saw 7,500 animals. That's a pretty big fucking difference, isn't it?
It really is, honestly.
people are like, yeah, I'd eat cows, but I would never eat like a horse or a dog or anything. But then once you get on hard times, a horse doesn't seem so bad because you're broke for money. What do you think, like, say apocalypse happens?
I'd eat you if there was an apocalypse.
I
I'm
mean-
sorry, but like you look pretty tasty. Like it's all about necessity, Like you need to be asking not what are these worst case scenarios, but what is my current day-to-day scenario? Do I need to eat these cows? Do I need to eat these pigs? Or can I survive without them?
So yes, during an apocalypse, I look pretty tasty. However, third world countries,
Tasty snack.
I am a snack.
Well, that about does it. Thank you to everyone who stopped to talk. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share.